was proven in court that there was no interference. Mike Pence, the response. Itamar Ben-Gvir believes that a slow transition is going on in Har HaBayis. Slowly it's transitioning to a place which is more accepting of Jewish prayer. The Supreme Court in Israel ruled earlier this year that Jews have the same right to pray there as Muslims do. Although traditionally over the years Jews are not allowed to pray there, at least out loud, it's becoming more normal for Jews to pray there out loud. I think on a personal level, Jerusalem and specifically Har HaBayis is basically in sovereign Israel territory. They should set up a separate place for Jews to daven and Muslims to daven in the Al-Aqsa Mosque. It's not fair that in a Jewish country, with the Temple Mount considered to be the holiest place in Judaism and the third holiest place in Islam, that Jews should not have the right to pray in an organized fashion. Tim Scott, a senator from South Carolina, has entered the presidential race as a Republican contestant for the nomination. He happens to be a black senator, apparently the first black senator ever in the South, which is pretty significant. I don't think most Americans know who Tim Scott really is. To me, he doesn't stand any chance of winning the nomination. I think by more people entering the race, including Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, and others, they're taking away votes from Ron DeSantis, not from Donald Trump. The more of these other contestants enter the race, the more likely it is that Trump will win the nomination. The Los Angeles Lakers were knocked out of the playoffs yesterday by the Denver Nuggets in a sweep. LeBron James hinted after the game, when asked by various reporters, that he might actually be retiring after the season. He had one of his best seasons this year, averaged almost 29 points a game. Had 40 points last night in the game, despite a foot injury. He's still playing at an elite level. Is he at the top of his game? He's not at the top of his game the way he was at the peak of his career. He'd also be leaving $50 million on the table, and he's repeatedly said he wants to play with his son, Bronny James, who will be attending USC next year and will be eligible the following year for the NBA draft. I don't see LeBron James actually retiring, but I do see that his play will diminish over the next couple of years, and I doubt the Lakers will have a realistic shot at winning a championship. Meta Corporation has been fined by the European Union $1.3 billion for apparently sharing information about European residents to the American headquarters in San Francisco, I believe. They are very unhappy, Europe, the European Union specifically, that this information, privacy information about the people who use Facebook is being shared with the United States. I understand partially why people would say that TikTok should be banned potentially in the United States, because China is not an ally of the United States. They're in fact in competition with the United States. But Europe has classically been part of NATO. It's supposedly an ally of the United States. To worry about privacy sharing about European people to the United States is highly questionable. WhatsApp is introducing a new feature. Apparently, after you send out a message, you'll be able to edit that message for up to 15 minutes. This is competing with other platforms who do the same thing. I think, personally, if we're using WhatsApp, the fact that when you delete a message, it shows to everybody that your message is deleted, I think that's a bad feature. If a person makes a mistake and says something that they regret, they should be able to delete that without anyone realizing they deleted it. And also this feature about editing within the first 15 minutes to be able to edit, it'll show that you edited the message. I think if you make a mistake, the whole point is people make mistakes. They say things that they regret. If you're going to be able to change it within 15 minutes, no one should have to know that you changed it.